Joke of the year. My narcissistic mother, when she yelled at me after I stood up for myself and tried to reason with her finally as an adult, as I had more awareness about my entire life, what had happened to me, as she had abused me ever since I was like 7, 8 years old, when I just could not finish my maths homework because maths was not my thing. I was never good at that as a child. So she began to physically attack me. So, well, that was one thing. But anyway, joke of the year is that now as an adult, she would yell at me. Grow up, get help, get therapy, when I told her to do the same. You know, when I was growing up, I had no clue about narcissism or being a sensitive person or anything. I was just simply existing and being a sensitive girl, child who was very quiet and into her own stuff and didn't have people around me to understand me or really get to know me or anything like that. So it was very, very painful and very lonely for me. And on top of that, to deal with physical abuse and neglect, because I was so left alone without any real empathy and kindness from my own parents, because my dad, became sick with schizophrenia when I was 3 years old and he was taken away. And my mother was always telling me about that night when he was taken away, and it was so scary, and so I'm sure that you can imagine, if you've also been through this as a sensitive empath, highly sensitive person, similar experiences, that how difficult it can be to be, living your life and building your life after something like this, when you are left so alone to deal with things. Even though this is very common, if you resonate, with being an earth angel, starseed, life is usually very lonely. But of course there's a limit to everything anyway, and we're supposed to be having our boundaries and to be able to be our authentic selves without any shame, and not constantly to be blamed and be gaslighted and manipulated to think something else. But yeah, so it took me many years to be even trying to reason with my own mother, because I loved her so much. I looked up to her so much. She was so dear to me anyway, despite of all the abuse, and I thought that I deserved all of it. I thought that it was normal life, because that is how we grow up. If we are abused, we get used to it and we think it's normal, and then we put up with it later on in life too, in relationships. So even if somebody's disrespecting us, we don't necessarily set our boundaries and stand up for ourselves, because we can be too scared to do that and unable to do that, and we're just tolerating disrespect all over again. As you think it's normal, you don't question it. You think it's normal life. You think you deserve it. You blame yourself. You are gaslighted. You are manipulated. You are brainwashed into blaming yourself. And the pain to deal with this, if it goes on and on and on in your life, and it's coming from left and right, and it's coming from that person, from that person, from that person, in multiple romantic relationships, with friends, with random people, just too much. It is just simply unhealthy and too much, especially when you're just trying to heal and move on. But we need to pay attention to these things and know the truth, how it really is. Typical narcissistic comments is that you are this and this and this and this in a negative way. So you are full of yourself. You are narcissistic. you don't love me, you don't care about me. If you try to stand up for yourself, if you try to be your authentic self with them, no matter even if it's your own mother or your own father, when you are just trying to have a healthy, normal adult conversation about things, how things went, because it would help you heal and move on and thrive again. But they will never give you that closure. They will never give you that healing. And instead, they just give you more of that shame, trauma, because narcissistic abuse causes shame within a person. And of course, one sentence is that, everything is your fault. You are the problem. And it's your fault that you were abused. If this is a romantic partner who you are trying to get to know and date, you think that this could be a potential romantic partner, and then they lash out on you after you have told them about your past experiences in relationships with toxic people, how they hurt you, and this new person lashes out on you and says, oh, it's your fault. It was your fault. All of that abuse was your fault. You're so difficult. It's your issues. Like, come on, you don't even know me. I'm here trying to open up to you with my heart and soul, and you don't even know me. When you're healing from trauma, narcissistic abuse, physical abuse, sexual harassment, and similar types of issues, you are entitled to be treated normally with respect, with peace and joy and calm energy, not having people attack you constantly wherever you go. You don't deserve that, and you cannot take that. That is too much. It's too heavy, and people need to wake the F up and start taking care of themselves and not bleeding on those people who have not wounded them. They need to start understanding that people might be going through heavy things. And what, for me personally, has been the worst, when I loved my mother, I trusted her, and all she did was cause me that abuse. She would apologize sometimes, and then it would happen again. And I had to be so afraid of her. And these issues did leave such deep wounds within me. And my grandfather was similar. He did not attack me physically, but emotionally he was very controlling and bossy and demanding. And I have too much experience about these things, and it made me so infuriated that they just continue their lives like nothing happened. That is what they do. They just continue with their lives. Well, my grandfather is passed away already, but anyway, they just continue their lives as if nothing happened. They just wipe it all under a carpet and let it be, and that's that. And you, as a child, you are left with the traumas. And especially if you are a sensitive empath, highly sensitive person, even more so, you are left with that trauma within. And you don't realize that you would need therapy or help. At least I didn't. I thought that I would just manage everything by myself. And that is how my life went. How it all went.